What's up, everyone? I will be doing a ranked video breakdown of some of my footage of Gold 3 gameplay. This is meant to be sort of a self-review type thing with tips and advice sprinkled in for people around this rank and who are looking to climb. So let's just get this started. So right away, there's a bunch of squads, looks like two, coming into this area. I pinged where I was going, so it looks like the Seer landed with me. And right now, Vantage is in a fight, so I'm going to help her, and she's lost. All right. So here, I slid out. I think that's one of the best tips for, fights off the drop, especially in ranked. If you're kind of just going with your team and seeing where they go. If you're not, the jump master, you're not leading the charge, you kind of have to react to what's going on and try to help them out when possible. So here, I pop out. There's two guys here. I'm assuming the Vantage damaged one of them, so one of them's probably pretty low. My teammate is still looting in the back. All right, so this happened really quickly. I grabbed the gun, felt confident with the car, so I just ran back out to try to help. And let's kind of just see how this plays out. So pop a knuckle cluster. They're flesh, so I know they're weak, and they get knocked. All right. Here, that's not a great knuckle cluster. I hit the fence, but let's just pause real quick. All right, so the Bloodhound's here, gets the first shot on me, but the Vantage that flew up just thirsted my teammate. Okay. The Seer is still out here somewhere. Not sure where they are at right now, but I have this one-on-one fight. It's a 2v2 right now. And I knocked the Bloodhound, alright? So, come back to safety. So I ping there's a teammate. I can hear the footsteps, right? Seer's on their way, it looks like, wrapping around the side of the building, and I'm popping a cell, okay? So I'm going to show you what happens here and what sort of a couple mistakes are. Alright, so I got knocked. I stuck them, and let me just fast forward here a little bit. So here, the biggest mistake is the peak. All right, so instead of, sliding all the way out and trying to see what's going on way out here, I should have just peeked a tiny bit. So, kind of just like peek out here. And the other thing is, I went with the knuckle cluster. So I have a car. The knuckle cluster can do a decent amount of damage, and you'll see that it actually does. But I feel like it's the right decision there is just to shoot my gun and not peek so much. So I'll show you what I mean. Here, that's a huge peak. I don't need to look out this far. So I should have been, instead of being out here, should have been like way over here. And this Vantage, if they were better, would have killed me instantly. I would have died much quicker. I wouldn't have had time to react if they were, aiming down sights or just looking for me to pop out. So what I could have done is, prior to jumping out, is just maybe popping a knuckle cluster out here on the wall just to take up this space out here, and then wrapped around the other way. Or, just had my gun and fired it. But, I got the knuckle cluster off, which isn't the worst decision. But, I die instantly. So it looks like I do like 50 damage to them or something. They keep getting hurt. So luckily the Seer comes through and saves the day. Gets the squad right, picks up my banner. And they're on their way to res or pick up the Vantage banner. So we can hear gunshots in the distance. And actually a small thing I would have done here versus what the Seer does is I would have just gone straight for the beacon instead of heading this direction. So they're fighting in here somewhere. And luckily he doesn't get spotted, but he's almost getting shot just from being in the direct line of sight of the two teams. So gets to safety. Another thing is if you're playing Seer, it's using your passive way more, so he just kind of uses it there for a slight second, but you should be spamming it all the time. yeah, so get rest here. So we know that there's two squads out here fighting. I'm just gonna try to loot right away and see kind of what the team does here. I might fast forward through some of these parts in video editor after this, but so I just, grab some loot here, ping where I'm going. Looks like my team's out in the building next to me trying to get some loot too.
Care package coming down. Replenish the sword.
So yeah, nothing crazy here. Make sure you always grab the key shield if you see one. Alright, so 15 squads are still up. Me and the Vantage have both picked up some guns, so we're okay in that regard. And I'm just gonna look around. So I know there's people out here, just don't know where, and maybe one fight ended, I didn't catch it, but that's what I'm looking for. And I'm not trying to go too far from my team in case someone does pull up on us.
Echo's got an angle. Moving there.
So the Seer's kind of moving up to try to get some information. It looks like me and the Vantage have kind of backed up. So spotted someone, ping them, let them know. And I ping that I don't want to fight that. I'm trying to go this way. But surprise, surprise, there's a squad over here too. So make sure you ping that. Missed the shots, but that's alright. I'm just trying to scare them off. So the Seer's coming back with us. We're grouping up, and I'm kind of just spamming abilities, trying to make a lot of noise and kind of show my presence. So, you know, it's likely that this is a totally different squad than the two squads we landed with, or that we're fighting after our initial fight. And at this point in the game, you know, it's you can try to look for fights and get some more RP and KP. Yeah, so notice the squad there. Alright, so you hit some shots, right? And, you know, I'm looking for a knockdown. If we were to get a knock, it'd be a good time to push. But I'm not a big fan of this. I ult here, but I don't think this is the right move. I think, you know, trying to establish a better position than where we're at right now. We're kind of, you know, in between this and these squads out here. I didn't catch anyone with this ult. It looked like it was going to be a good one, but kind of whiffed on it. So people are fighting here. Going for the blue shield if the team takes it, that's fine. I'm close to leveling up. So I ping that I kind of want to go that way, right? I don't really commit because I'm kind of trying to get some kills. But, you know, I let my squad know if they notice that I want to kind of go that way. However, the Seer moves up and the Vantage is moving up too. So here, you know, this isn't a terrible position, but I feel like we could do a better job taking up space. So, you know, obviously if I'm not communicating with my team and I'm just kind of relying on pings, I kind of have to do that on my own. But what I could do is, you know, take up space this way if the Vantage had stayed where I was. If not, where I'm at is probably fine. However, they're too close here. So, you know, it's fine, but typically in fights like this, I feel like you should try to gain space and have different angles, which, I mean, seems like it's common sense, but in the moment, you'll find that you group yourself up with your teammates a little too closely sometimes. So let's kind of just see how this plays out. As I'm popping a shield, so I'm looking around trying to get information. Alright, so, you know, the voice lines are sometimes unreliable, but they're good to take note of. So it's saying that there's a different squad that's pulled up. So we know for sure that, you know, two squads have now shot at us and we've taken damage from them. And there's a lot going on, right? So, you know, I'm gonna stick around in the fight, and I see a team zipping away out here. I don't know if you saw that, but, you know, just looking around, seeing if I can take some shots on anyone. Let my squad know that there's still a squad out there, and then they're coming back. So, two squads here. Still not a great spot. And we made a lot of bracket this whole time, so this is, you know, kind of a dangerous spot to be in. Hits a CRQ there.
Another bloody squad's attacking us. Recharging me shields.
Looking around while I'm popping a cell, and the Seer pings, okay? So that's kind of what I was originally wanting to do, is just kind of get out of there. I do have some KP and participation, so if this were to make it past, you know, 10 squads, I'll gain something. Maybe my teammates are less likely to want to do that just because they don't have the kills or whatever. But since he pinged and it looks like the Vantage is going to go with us, I'm much rather get out of there. It's not a good fight so far. No one's really done too much damage or knocked anyone. So the smart move is definitely getting out of there and let them fight. You know, they're drawing so much attention. We're near the center of the map. It's not the greatest place to be.
Got us a new kill leader.
Recharging shields.
And then at this point, since we didn't commit to that, I'm thinking that I just want to get a good spot on the map. So I'm going to ping here and try to get that beacon. So the circle's pulling that way.
What do you say we move here?
Better angle at Echo's location.
My team's back here, so I'm just kind of pinging that I'm heading this way.
Wanna raise the stakes
Ping the
and
zip.
raise for stakes?
Sniper shot here. Level 2. Good if you want to keep your shoulder in his socket.
Half the squad's a cartridge, fellas. On ya.
New kill leader. Good. Gaining taller will make them easier
So
to
my
spot.
team's
Laser sight here.
looting kind of where we were at originally. So obviously that squad's not there anymore, and it's kind of risky for me to be by myself out here. But so far it's so good. And you know, I was hoping the Seer would, or yeah, the Vantage would ping the beacon or hit the beacon, I should say. That's what I think is going to happen, just because they're in that area. But it looks like they're not going to, so I just try to spot it and then get them to do that. Hitting beacons, especially at this point in the game, if you have the ability to do so, you definitely should. If you're able to predict already and have a good sense of where things are going, it's great. But I personally don't play enough to know exactly where all the rings are going to end, especially with this new map. And you know, most people at this level aren't going to be able to do that either. So they hit the beacon, it's going that way, and there's still 10 squads left, okay? So the best decision is definitely to head out, find a good spot, and then just see how the squads play the game. If a lot of people immediately go over there, you might be able to sneak a couple knocks, get a couple kills. If not, you know, like I said, I have a couple kill points. I'm okay with letting this play out. If I get top 5, that's always great. So rotating that way. This part of the map's usually kind of quiet, so I'm kind of just walking up kind of confidently. I definitely do want that, so I go back for it. But something worth noting is that if you have like a Bloodhound or a Seer, or if you're either of those characters, you should probably lead the rotations, just because you can spot, you know, footsteps or use your passive to see if anyone's been around. And like I said, this is kind of risky to go on my own like this, but from the games I've played, this side of the map's kind of quiet. So I found a purple, which is nice. Was gonna ping for my teammate, but it looked like I hadn't done any damage with it, so not worth pinging. So looking around, nothing really pops out. I noticed that there's a beacon here, which I'd like to get on that side. So I pinged that I'm defending this area and that I want to go over there. However, my team's still over here. They're looting that building. So I'm kind of just staying put, waiting for them.
Energy mag here. Level 4.
My thanks.
And it doesn't look like anyone's out here. So I pinged that spot again, and my teammate pings that someone's around. All right, so I ping that I'm here, right? That we should go there, and it looks like Vantage is just booking it. So, you know, just to provide some cover in case they get picked off or nearly picked off, I slide back. and just look over them. Don't want to really leave your teammates out high and dry like that. But get out of there unscathed, and this spot's a pretty solid
That way,
spot, especially in the
fellas.
circle.
Move your butts.
So I'm gonna try to get up there. And there's still 10 squads left.
Attention, delivering replicator.
Moving to Echo for a better angle. Replicator incoming. Gonna use one of these growing up.
So just rotating up here. Nothing crazy going on. I pinged the beacon again,
Just taking the survey beacon.
just because, like I said, it's such great information, and it
Taking
really
a
lets you
defensive posse here, fellas.
see or try to think of how teams are going to react. Like I'll show in a second here. Just looking for people. So far, no
Taking a
one.
defensive posse here,
Long shot
fellas.
away.
All right. So teammate spotted someone. They have a Loba.
Spotted an enemy.
All right. So we know there's a squad here. They're gonna stick around. This is a good spot. We have scanned the circle, so we know we're not in a terrible spot. Um, but just because I have this information, we have, we're kind of comfortable in our positioning and what we want to do. So if there's 10 squads left, the circle's shrunk a good amount, and it's gonna keep shrinking this way. By the time people are gonna get near us or want to push us or even get over here if they've scanned the circle, there will be a significantly less number of squads. So for now, just knowing this is a good spot and trying to hang out. We have sight lines on basically this entire area.
Being shot at. Fire. Using a Phoenix kit.
I'm just burning my Phoenix kit here.
Taking a defensive posse here.
So I'm just letting my squad mates know that I don't want to go anywhere. I want to defend this area. And I do a good job at some points during this, but what I really want to be doing, especially if I'm trying to shoot, this area here or down here or over here, is using the ground as cover. So, the classic head glitch. But if I play around this and this fence here, you'll minimize your hitbox, so you're just better able to output damage without getting hit back. This team here actually does a good job of doing the same thing, but luckily I hit a few more shots than they do. So a bunch of people shooting at me, right? But because I'm able to use this
Standing tall.
this line here pretty effectively, I'm okay. And just kind of squatting down and using the rest of the floor as cover. So the circle's about to close here. Once it closes, this squad that's here that we were just shooting at will know that this circle's where it's going. So for now, they're kind of just banking on this spot being okay. They're wrong, but it's, if you don't have the beacon, then you don't really know that unless you're really good at predicting where the circles are going. All right, so obviously hit some good shots through this tree here. I was able to spot them, and they probably can't really see me too well. However, apparently the spot, you can't shoot knuckle clusters through it, which is kind of annoying. And I still managed to clip the tree, so it's ineffective. But that's just good to know. All right, and then here, this is a pretty common mistake at this rank and my skill level, is, I recognize that cover is an effective thing to use, but this is still exposing half my body, right? Whereas back where I was down here, this way, when I'm using the floor back where I was before, it's just my head peeking out. But right now, half my body is completely visible. So yeah, I'm playing the cover, but it's not the best cover I could be playing. So I'll stick here for a little bit. But if you notice, I get hit way more here than I did where I was at before.
Knuckle cluster out. Recharging me shields.
So this area back over here is a much better spot.
Beginning ring countdown.
Cracked an
And
enemy
I
shield.
put out a bunch of damage, and actually the fence does a decent job blocking for me, which is pretty fortunate.
Prey there.
All right, so teammate spots a squad over there. So in this time where we've kind of just been taking pop shots and looking around, we know there's a squad here and the squad over here, and there's 5 squads left. So without doing anything aside from having fun shooting people, gained 56 RP just by rotating early and trying to find myself a decent spot with the squad. So at this point, I've realized that this squad has to move, and depending on how they play it, they could push us if they wanted to. That's an option, getting underneath us and then, advancing beyond us or trying to bring the fight to us. So I'm kind of focusing on this squad for the rest of the time I spend
1
here.
minute and the ring's a stone's throw. Even if you throw like a baby.
It's a pretty solid nade there. But again, using as much cover as I can, which the team I'm fighting here does a great job of too. Luckily, just hit a few more shots than they did, so won most trades. And I let my team know I'm still watching them because they're
Spotted an enemy.
like, we don't want to be trapped in between them. If we were to rotate, right, like let's say we went up here, which isn't a bad spot, and might actually have been a pretty solid move. We could have gone here, but we're on high ground here, and have views of this entire area, so we can rotate kind of late. There's 30 seconds left. We know there's a squad here and a squad in here likely, and there's still 5 squads. So the priority in my mind is still letting these guys know that we're around and they can't really sneak up on us.
30 seconds.
Eyes up. Tracking some prey here.
All right. So
Hell yeah.
teammate spots someone,
Sure, enemy here.
and this is pretty bad here. I kind of just do a little Chicken Little run and run like a half mile, do a couple laps. But we are susceptible for someone to sneak up on us.
Just 10 seconds left.
If someone were to get up here and we're all kind of split like this, it's not great.
Reloading.
Doing a little bit of looting too.
Rings.
Prey there.
So, again, I'm not doing much here. This is something I can improve on. Picking a spot and trying to lock that down, or just sticking with my teammate and providing fire, or, just support and shooting at the same thing they're shooting at. Alright. So, the squad underneath us was that Loba squad that was over here, and they rotated underneath us, and because I was kind of running around, they probably just were able to do that completely fine. So the Loba's gonna get up here. I know that she was the first one, or was likely one of the first ones, so someone else should come by. And so I shoot at them here, which is just an instinctive thing to do. I was, in retrospect, maybe could have used my fusel here instead of shooting at them, or maybe even further up here to take up this space. I believe the Loba makes it up here. But if this spot is locked down with the fusel, they either have to swing around this way where all 3 of us have just open season on them, or they swing around this way where there's a squad up here and I again have a great angle on them. So this is kind of a missed opportunity to get some KP. So shoot them there. Someone else is up here, and I drop down. Drop down. It's fine. This is another mistake I made here. So I could have, once I hop up here, used this little ledge here on top of this forklift Um, and I'll eventually get it and hang out there, but it provides a great head glitch here with this thing, whereas I actually just jump up here, which is exposing my whole body, which isn't great, but I'll let that play out and let you see.
Perfect posse to
I
defend
think I'm
from.
defending this area, so I'm completely on the fence here. My whole body's exposed. So miss some shots there, that happens, it's okay.
Launch enemy knuckle cluster.
And again, I jump on there,
Pieces.
so my whole body's exposed.
Serving them a knuckle sandwich.
Alright, and then I realize that I have this head glitch.
Reloading. Recharging my shields.
So looking around, reassessing, my teammates here on my left, my other teammates kind of scoping this area up here, out. We know that there's, a squad here, and then it looked like there was another squad up here. And that's, at this point in the game, plenty, if we know where those two squads are, and, our back's covered, no one's next to us here. We're in a pretty solid spot.
Rings close. With
So I'm just gonna keep shooting shots. My teammate's still looking north, and actually pings that there's a squad up there.
that enemy shield.
So I hit some shots there. So you smell blood in the water, and you kind of just want to hang around. But it might have been worth to push this person that my teammate's pinging. But I kind of tunnel vision here, which is fine, right? At this stage, that's something that's not uncommon, and as long as I recognize that, and if you can recognize this in your gameplay, uh, that you'll improve a good amount. Just recognizing that you're kind of locking in and ignoring pings, especially when there's a lot going on and you're hitting shots like that.
Loading.
Rings near.
Launch Dark Star. Dark Star.
So I actually waste a good amount of nades here. I probably should have just kept those. I'll find out in a second, but there's a room that you can go into that I wasn't familiar with, just
Two other squads
from lack of playing this map that much.
Time to actually start trying. My prey is down.
Launch enemy knuckle cluster. Here comes the old knuckle cluster.
I cracked a target's shield.
Recharging my shields.
Look beyond the veil.
So here, they're inside the building. I had no idea. There's 3 squads. All right, so 3 squads, and it looks like there's 1 squad out here, and this squad here. Okay, my teammate, fortunately, will ping that we should move because again, I'm pretty tunnel visioned on trying to get kills here,
Just 10 seconds. Let's go over there.
and they ping, instantly realize that that's the right call, so we head out over there. And someone shoots me from over here.
Reckon we should go here.
So I'm pinging that I'm going that way
Outside the ring is where the stupid die.
and try to find who shot me. Doing some looting. At this point in the game, I probably should have just spent my time looking for someone. So there's a box here. I loot that.
Evo shield.
Didn't see anyone that was shooting at me, so they probably rotated away back to their team.
My heart goes out to you.
All right, so our fuse dropped their ult, which is huge. We see one guy here and one guy there. At this point, I'm unsure if they're teammates or not, but I'm just gonna pop my fuse ult here, and I burn one, knock them, and then at this point, I realize there's 2 squads left, so I just push in. What I should have done is pinging that I'm attacking. I feel like that's more effective than the single ping or the enemy ping. So moving up, I saw that they're back here, so I drop a grenade and then I try to cover the backup route. All right, so I spot them here. I don't see this guy over here. If I had seen them, I would have probably played this a little bit differently. But I knock him, and instead of pushing forward into thirst, I should have dropped back and kind of used the crate I'm standing on as cover, so I could have just fully backed up because this guy has clear shots on me here. And they drop on me. My teammates are coming up, so I'm kind of just fighting this. Unfortunately, I don't win the fight, but I break his shield, so he's healing here. All right. So the worst thing you can do, and most people at this point don't do it, and by this point I mean like past silver, is spam pinging. I think, you know, in this case it might have not necessarily spam pinging, but pinging more frequently because I ping that he's here, right? So I ping that he's here, and my teammate comes here. The seer does see him, so instead of being a 2v1, it's going to be a 1v1 because, you know, the seer's shooting him here, but the Vantage thinks that the guy's over here. So I could have done a better job of tracking the seer and just periodically pinging where he was moving. So I try to do it there and ping that way, but the seer manages to finish him off there. So as you guys can see, not a lot happened here, right? Like all we did was move to the circle, you know, got ourselves a decent position, and then because of where the circle pulled and how we played it, 10, 15 squads were gonna have to rotate towards us. And, you know, we were able to fend off one squad and kind of just try to get a lucky knock there, and maybe if we had done that we would have pushed off of that. But because we were able to get ourselves a really good spot, no one pushed us there and then used cover to our advantage. We were able to rotate. The last two squads, you know, fought each other and were really low, so we were able to just third party the end of the game and get the win.
You are the Apex
So,
champions.
you know, essentially it all boils down to getting a good drop. You know, if you get a good drop and the circle's pulling your way, or if not, if it's like this round where, you know, we landed and had a fight immediately and were able to get a couple of kills, and then instead of going around looking for more kills in the middle of the game where everyone's rotating and everyone's looking for kills, we just went to the circle, got ourselves a good spot, scanned beacons, and then just let teams fight each other, and then made sure to focus on teams that were a danger to us. And because of that, you know, we won the game. We didn't have to pull off any crazy kills and didn't have to risk ourselves fighting, you know, teams where we're about the same level and we might lose. So we get the win, 263 RP, and really didn't risk much in doing so. So if you want to climb, it's definitely an effective way of doing it, is playing the circle, letting teams fight each other, and then getting kills where you can. All right. So if you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.